Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
Hey, Brian Campbell here. We're at the 2026 Nampu show and really excited to be here. It's been really good weather, lots of people, and yeah, we've been having a show every day and looking forward to the rest of the week.
So tell me a little bit about what your show entails here at Nampu.
So it's a trial biking show. It's an exhibition that I brought back from America. I travel all over the country, all over the world. It's a custom built trailer, 7.5 meters long, 2.5 meters wide, 3.5 meters high. So it's a whole bunch of obstacles that we jump up and over, and it's a full choreographed show that involves the crowds, and yeah, a really cool show to show what my sport's about, and just entertain people and give them a good time.
So tell me a little bit, let's go all the way back to the beginning, that first motorbike, that first time that you thought, yes, this is something I want to do. Tell me about that moment.
Well, that's a very good question. It actually started before I even got onto the motorcycle for the first time. My dad and I used to watch motorcycle events on TV and used to go and watch live events, but I was a very avid bicycle rider. I grew up on bicycles and eventually just decided to get a bike. My dad taught me he used to bath in the mornings, and he used to teach me, he used to tell me you got to hold the accelerator, put in the clutch, put it in gear. So I had it in my mind already how to do it before I even jumped on the bike. But then when I was 9 years old, we got my first bike, which is actually quite late. In terms of making a career from it, but yeah, I'll never forget the first day. It was a little Kawasaki KX60, and my dad bought it for me, and I've never ever looked back. I've loved it ever since then. I've just been on a motorcycle probably more than I've been on my feet.
Mm-hmm. So is that Kawasaki still your favorite bike, or do you have a new
no,
one?
I probably wouldn't say so. There's so many nice new ones now, but I mean, I'll never forget that one. Every time I see one, whenever I see one of the youngsters riding it, I always think to myself, that's where it all started for me. So it's very cool to see.
Yeah, and you now mentioned starting a little bit late in biking. What do you think enabled you to start a career despite starting late?
That's a good question. I never obviously intended on it being a career. I loved the riding. I loved being free on the bike. It's something that gave me purpose. But I'd probably say when I turned about 18 years old, I was competing in America, and I did a show at the Nassau Coliseum in New York in front of 60,000 people, and I just thought to myself, man, when I heard the crowd screaming, I thought, this is for me. The competitions were very far in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the bush, maybe 100 spectators, and when you ride in front of 60,000 spectators, there's a difference. And so, I just enjoy riding in front of people and entertaining people.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the biggest challenges in motorbiking at the moment.
I would probably say the number one challenge would be the price of the bikes. It's an expensive sport to get into. You need 150,000 rand to buy the bike. You need another 50,000 to buy all the gear. You need to get around, so it's expensive. The barrier to entry is expensive. And I'd say the second thing is unfortunately there's injuries. If you take it seriously the way I did in the beginning, and even now, unfortunately you get injured. And so I think a lot of people get scared off by that and they don't like the fact that they're injured. And so I'd probably say those are the two biggest barriers to entry in our sport.
So how do you keep your wits and keep your guts once you've been injured?
That's a tough question to answer because unfortunately it plays over in your mind over and over. No one likes to hurt themselves and no one likes the pain. And so it's probably the biggest mental game, getting back on the bike once you've healed up from being injured. And that's why the golden rule, if you haven't broken a bone and it's not sticking out your skin, the golden rule is to get back on as quick as you can. Because already your mentality is, I can do this, it's not so bad.
And if you could bring one change in the motorbiking world in South Africa, what would that change be?
Asking some very interesting and technical questions. I would probably say bring back a little bit of the toughness. I see that a lot of the youngsters today are really mollycoddled by their moms and dads, and I put myself in that category. I've got kids, and I was too soft on my first two. The third one now I'm a lot rougher with, a lot harder with, but if I think anything should change, I would probably say that the parents need to be a little harder. I think our parents back in the day were a lot harder on us, and I would say that would make a big difference.
And in the future of motorbiking, you've said now, people are a little bit too soft. Do you think it will go back to a state where people are tough and rugged and...
I doubt it. People today are soft. They don't have the toughness that people had back in the day. Even me, I think even from my era, if I look at what my dad went through and my older brothers, I think they were way tougher than we are. But in the same breath, I know some 17, 18-year-old youngsters that are pretty tough cookies. So maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But I don't see it. I see too many video games, too many moms and dads mollycoddling them. And I think they need to go back to the drawing board and go to army.
And how do you think those moms who are coddling their kids need to change their mindsets?
I think they themselves need to toughen up a bit. I think the people that had it tough are tough people. And I think that if they toughened up themselves, their kids would toughen up. That's probably my best answer.
Okay, so back to the point of people being softer in motorsport in general now. What do you think the spectator will get from motorsport if it's not for that adrenaline factor?
Look, I don't want to paint the wrong picture. I'm not saying all of them are soft. I'm just saying in general, some of the youngsters in the motorsport game have it too easy. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. I wouldn't maybe say they're soft, but they have it too easy. Mom and dad are willing to put it all on the line to let them have it. Whereas like my parents had the means to do it, but I had to work for it. I didn't just get everything on a plate. And so that's a very good question. I think that people like excitement. I think people like adrenaline, and I think that if they brought into it the way I bring people into my show, I think that they'll see through the fluff, and I think they'll get into it if they really like it.
Yeah. And I must say, as I sit here, I look at an athlete basically at the top of his game. I think you've achieved so much. To a point where you're now doing shows and sort of inviting other people in. How does one go up from that point?
Yeah, I don't think you can really go up from this point. I think I've from a competitive point of view, I've done everything that I ever wanted to do. I've done enough, and so for me, I'm just enjoying traveling around the world. I get to see beautiful places. I get paid to do it, and other people pay me to be all over the world, and I love that. So I don't think you can go further than this or higher than this, and if you can, let me know how.
Okay, so for young talent, from the top right to the bottom now, for young talent coming in who look to you as an inspiration, what advice would you give them?
My best advice, if we put it in a nutshell, would probably be to just never ever give up. Again, it's too easy to say, I'll do it tomorrow. Or, let someone else do it. The guys that really go all the way, and I'm not saying that I'm one of those guys, but the guys that really, really go far in their careers are the guys that just have that fuss bait and never say die attitude. It takes a lot. It's consistency, probably consistency. I listened to a thing this morning that was all about consistency. And I'd probably say if you want to be successful in anything, not just in biking or motorsport, if you want to be consistent in anything, if you want to be an athlete, if you want to be healthy, if you want to be good in business, I think if you're consistent, you'll make it.
And then last question. Obviously consistency is hard, you know, and you have had to be consistent to get to this point. What do you tell yourself on the off days when you don't want to go do it? How do you get yourself to do it?
It should never be based on emotion. And so for me, I try and go to gym every single day. We have 1 day off a week, minimum, just because you can't burn the candle at both ends all the time. But it's a mentality. It's not a matter of how do I feel today, should I go to gym or not. It's I'm going to gym every day. And if you commit to it, and it's not an emotional decision, you'll be consistent.
Tourism is a TV show that explores various touristic destinations, providing viewers with in-depth coverage of locations, events, and experiences. The show presents detailed insights into destinations, cultural highlights, and travel tips to engage both local and international audiences.
This week's decisions, today's debates, tomorrow's consequences. The agenda puts the spotlight on Namibia's most pressing issues and the people driving them. From headline makers to groundbreakers, we bring you the voices and perspectives at the center of the national conversation. One story, one interview, the depth you won't find anywhere else. That is The Agenda. Catch The Agenda on oneoftwo.com and on ntv.my.na.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises. From artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
Want the inside scoop on the hottest music, biggest events, and the trendsetters shaping our art and entertainment scene? From exclusive interviews to behind-the-scenes access, Chill TV keeps you plugged into the vibes that matter. Music, fashion, lifestyle, talent, it's all here. Chill TV. Don't just watch culture happen, be part of it. Catch Chill TV now on oneoftwo.com, your pulse on lifestyle and entertainment.
Business First Africa is a forward-looking business show that goes beyond balance sheets to capture how Africans are building, creating, and living. Afrotech explores innovation, AI, and digital systems shaping the continent's economies. Brave and Building profiles Namibian entrepreneurs and businesses transforming industries and urban spaces. Creative Capital spotlights creatives and the creative economy, unpacking how culture becomes value. Africa in 10 delivers a sharp roundup of key developments across the continent. Don't miss Business First Africa, because it's not just business, it's life.
Welkom by Agri Monitor, die hart van landbounuus in Namibia. Ek is Jacques de Tooy en ek is julle aanbieder. Kyk die program op DStv kanaal 285 of op GoTV op kanaal 25. Die program verskyn elke Dinsdag aand om 8:30. Woensdae 1:00 die middag en Sondag 7:00 die oggend. Skakel in en ons gesels saam. Sien julle daar.
From Bikes with Brian Kapper all the way to the brain power needed to develop the 2026 era of Formula One cars, we now take a look at the development of the power unit on this year's Mercedes.
Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of The Road to 2026, the series where we'll explain the changes to the regulations for next year. Today we're going to talk about the power unit and the very significant changes that are happening to it. And believe me, this ain't no small engine upgrade. This is going to fundamentally change the way the power unit works in Formula One. So why are the regulations changing? Formula One is an incredible place to push boundaries, where we can show how innovation works and develop it to a level that we're able to race it at the circuit. And what we do at the circuit one day will surely become something that will benefit every road user in the future. These changes have been agreed with all power unit manufacturers, and we will be seeing significant changes at the racetrack in 2026.
And for Petronas, it's not just a hardware change. The 2026 regulation enables us to collaborate with other fuel suppliers to shape the Formula One fuel regulation.
Let's take a minute to explain in detail what all these changes are.
With the fuel, we are advancing from 10% sustainable to 100% advanced sustainable fuel. It's a big change, and for Petronas, we are taking the challenge to meet the aspiration. We will see more of this in episode 3.
On the power unit side, there are some fundamental changes. Currently, the combustion engine produces about 80% of the power, and the electrical system about 20% of the power. In 2026, this is going to change significantly, so that the combustion engine provides approximately 50% of the power, and therefore the electrical system the other 50%. In the current regulations, we have an MGU-H, which captures waste energy from the turbocharger. This is going to have gone for 2026, which means we must rely far more heavily on the MGU-K, which harvests energy during the braking period and stores it for later use. In the current regulations, the MGU-K is 120 kilowatts. For next year, for 2026, the regulations say the MGU-K could be 350 kilowatts, so almost 3 times the power. But of course, it won't be 3 times the physical size or mass.
Therefore, the first source of energy is still coming from the fuel and through the internal combustion engine. To ensure the optimum performance, our Petronas Syntium Cooltech technology has enabled to withstand higher temperature and therefore higher oxidative stress to ensure we do more with less. Also, the electrical parts need to be taken care of. That is the battery and the MGU-K. Battery is cooled with a special dielectric fluid, which is basically surrounding all the cell elements. It's a technology which is called immersion cooling. And the MGU-K, little secrets, is also cooled by the engine oil, so we have also to cater for material compatibility and performances.
The changes to the power unit and the fluids are also going to impact the driver and how they use the power unit. The increase in electrical power in particular means they're going to have far more options to attack, to defend when they're going wheel to wheel. The removal of the MGU-H allows new power unit manufacturers to join the competition at a far more level playing field.
Indeed, the fuel and the engine is a symbiotic relationship. We have made changes to the fuel chemistry to better suit the engine design as it advances. And there's also been some engine changes that better suits the fuel as well.
One of the most exciting aspects of this regulation change is just how relevant it's going to be to the road car of tomorrow. Just think about it. We're talking about battery power, we're talking about energy, we're talking, of course, about advanced sustainable fuel.
And thermal stress for the battery, indeed, the road car application of paramount importance. That's why we developed our Petronas Iona cooling fluid, which is specialized for battery.
It is a direct technology transfer. We have, through the fuel retail development, whether it's inside or outside Malaysia, we have had some transfer of technology from the road to the race track and also from the race track to the road. What we are learning is informing us of what we should do in road mobility, even beyond motorsport.
This isn't just a change to the engine layout. This is a change to the way we fundamentally think about Formula One, the way we think about performance, the way we think about responsibility, and the way we think about the influence that we can have on the future of mobility. And we're already deep into development. The work that we're doing today will influence directly how successful we are next year and beyond.
The fuel, the fluids, the chemistry. Petronas doing our parts to put the power to the wheels.
In a world where politicians promise the moon and deliver potholes, where democracy sometimes arrives in camouflage and ballots often look like formalities, one show dares to laugh with Africa, at Africa, and sometimes for Africa. This is Second Take, your weekly dose of political satire with an African soul and a global edge. From coups disguised as press briefings to ministers moonwalking past accountability, we serve the real news with sharper writing. Each week we bring you the TikTok of the week because sometimes the revolution is vertical, and the heartwarming moment of the week to remind us that not everything is burning. We also sit down with the bold, the brilliant, and the brave, voices that question power, stir thought, and spark laughter. Because when the headlines are wild, the leaders are louder, and the truth is lost in translation, we all need a second take.
Join us every weekday evening for the Evening Review as we unpack the issues shaping Namibia. From politics and economics to culture and community life, our team delivers sharp analysis, expert insights, and conversations with Namibians across society. It's not just the headlines, it's the full picture. Stay informed and engaged with the Evening Review.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Lights Out. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, you can catch Lights Out every Friday evening at 5:30 on network television, DSTV 285 and GoTV 25, as well as oneup2.com online, should you prefer digitally. So until next week, drive it like you stole it.